Do you hate that really annoying bump you get when you finish off a granny square with a slip stitch? Well, I'm going to show you how to get a seamless finish. So I've stopped crocheting just before I would usually make that slip stitch to finish the round, and I've cut my yarn tail to approximately 6 inches. I'm then going to use my crochet hook to pull that yarn tail through that last stitch, which happens to be the second chain of my corner space in this granny square pattern, but it could just be a normal crochet stitch. I'm then going to thread my yarn onto a tapestry needle. So now we're going to make something called an invisible join. So here is the starting chain from our last round, and I'm going to look for the stitch to the left hand side of it here, so this stitch here, and I'm going to put my yarn needle under both of the loops of the V at the top of the stitch and pull it through. And I'm going to pull this yarn quite tight here, but not too tight so that it's pulling like that. I'm going to pull this yarn tight enough so that that thread of yarn that we've just created there is approximately the same length as the front loops of all of those stitches. And then the next step of the invisible join is to put your yarn needle through the back loop only, so just that back loop of the stitch to the right hand side of your starting chain here. And I'm going to pull that through, again pulling that yarn until it's approximately the same length as the back loops of these stitches. And as you can see, we've now got an invisible join. There's a seamless finish here with no bump. But you're probably wondering, well, what do we do with this yarn tail now? We're going to need to secure it somehow, because if we just pull, that invisible join is going to open up. So I'm going to show you how I like to secure this. So I'm going to swap my blunt yarn needle for a sharp tapestry needle. I find sharp needles are better for weaving ends in, as the ends seem to be more secure. So you never need to knot in crochet as long as you're weaving your ends in properly. So I've turned my square over and I'm looking at sort of bottom up from where my invisible join is. And I'm going to work my sharp needle down that starting chain there, just picking up a few threads as I go. Now I'm at the base of the stitch. You could, if you wanted to, tie a knot here with your yarn if you want that extra security. It's not required though. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work my yarn tail along a few stitches back and across again, so I'm working over the same area 3 times with my sharp needle. And what this does is it picks up those threads of that yarn end that we've woven in, so that it is more secure. And then I'm just working back across for the last time. I can then snip that yarn tail, and that's how you get a seamless but secure finish on your granny squares. If you want more crochet tips and tricks, check out the videos that are on your screen.